what is next for me? And do I still want to do nails? Do I want to be doing this forever? Or not forever, for the next several years? To be honest, no. I mean, could I own a shop? This is something that's going to take a lot of planning. What is next to come in this industry when it comes to doing nails? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, what's up? Do not forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. So, as you can see from the title of today's video, it is called Nail Tech Diaries. So, I'm getting ready for work like I normally do. And I decided, let me just do a little video venting to you guys about basically what is next in my career. Because let me tell you, I don't really know. So I'm doing my makeup. Obviously, I don't do my makeup in the nail room, but I needed my filming stuff and everything. So, and if anything I'm using, you guys want to know, I'll link it down below. This is not like a paid advertisement type thing. So recently, it's come to my attention that I'm getting older. And as I'm getting older, I'm really starting to think, what is next for me? And do I still want to do nails? This is a question you might ask yourself. I've been doing nails for 20 something years right now. And well, more than 20 years. It's been like 25 years or something. And oh my God, I don't even know how long it's been. And you know, I'm starting to think, okay, what is the next step? I'm teaching. I love teaching. I really love teaching, and I don't know what I want to do next. So I've been like going back and forth with some ideas and excuse my voice, I'm still drinking coffee. Going back and forth with some ideas, and I just don't know what exactly I want to do. I love teaching, don't get me wrong. I've been wanting to teach. If you saw a video that I made before about like my 25 plus year, 15 plus, whatever it said, nail tech career, you know, I was trying to find a teaching job forever. And when I finally found it, I was so happy to find the job that I can actually do. So I love teaching. I want to excel on teaching. Doing nails is not something that you can unfortunately do forever. That's just the way that it is, unfortunately. And, you know, I think I'm coming to that realization. You know, I started the nail room a couple of years ago, so I don't want to bail on it. Obviously, last year I redid it. I put a lot of money into this room, and, you know, I want to utilize it. But at the same time, do I want to be doing this forever? Or not forever, for the next several years? To be honest, no. I mean, working on the weekend, that's enough for me. I don't even want to do that sometimes. You know, I work 7 days a week. So I'm like, okay, what could I do? I would love to start some type of school. I would love to do that. In New York State, I feel like we could use more schools, definitely. But the problem is, just FYI, Maybelline. We don't use all this high quality stuff. I'm like old school Maybelline also. And we could use a school in New York. We definitely could use a school. And sometimes I'm like, okay, so how do I start a school? Look up that information. It's actually very hard to find information on how to start something. Being able to license people, that's what I want. While doing nail courses and nail classes, that's all fun. I want to be able to help people and actually help them and license them. And I don't know where to start. And it's very hard and very discouraging to try to find information. You know, you can go online, but then you're like, okay, where do I start? What kind of licenses do I need? What kind of services do I need? What do I need to do? Permits, this, that. It becomes very overwhelming, especially if you don't end up having like help and you're like, okay, can I just start it like this? Can I start it like that? Like I don't even know where to start. What exactly do I want? Do I want to just do nails? Do I want it to be a whole thing? Because the thing is, like, if you notice, a lot of schools just don't do nails. The reason for that is behind the scenes, nails is a cash course, meaning it doesn't cost that much for you to be able to take out a loan or a grant or something from the state. This is why most schools offer cosmetology as well, or like esthetician. These are courses that they can actually make. So while they know they're going to be guaranteed to get their money, if you do a cash course and all of a sudden people decide to say, oh, well, I'm not going to pay the bill. Where's my brush? Oh, no. Oh, I thought I left my eyebrow brush. About to say this is about to be a weird looking day. So people will tend to just say, you know what, I'll just offer all types of programs. That was actually Maybelline Dream Mousse. Good stuff. People compliment me on my makeup all the time. This is it. And I feel like the more people I tell about it, the less I'm able to find my complexion, because I'm the darkest complexion. They don't go that dark. It's like an older brand, older company. It's very hard to find. Eyebrows, Anastasia, brow stuff. And so anyway, I started to see like, okay, so if I were to just do a cash course and then people were to all of a sudden like bail on me, like, would I be able to pay the rent? Would I be able to do XYZ? So, you know, but the thing is, I don't really want to offer cos, because if I offer cosmetology, that means that I need to now hire somebody to teach cos, because I'm not licensed in that. It just becomes a whole thing. I don't really want to do all that. Like, I want education, but I don't really want to offer all these things to just kind of open the doors. But at the same time, the smart thing is to do something that you know is going to be successful and it needs to make you money. You can have a cash course, again, risk people not paying. You know, you have deposits and this and that. It's just like the money part of it. So that's one part of it. The second part of it is actually finding the right information online to, again, open a school. So this is like where I'm at with that. And I just don't even know. It's very confusing. This is sometimes I wish I had like a partner in crime to kind of be like, okay, we're going to do this. You take care of that. I'll take care of this. You know, we can tag team this, but it's just me. Well, I'm the type of person that when I get overwhelmed, I just back down. When I get stressed, when I get overwhelmed, I put it on the back burner, because I just like, I don't want to deal with it to the point where it's going to stress me out and drive me crazy. And so before I get to that point, I shut down. So I've tried to look into it, gotten nowhere, shut down. Okay, looked a little bit more, asked somebody some questions, got nowhere, shut down. And again, it's just very confusing as to like what I need to start it. But we could definitely use more schools in New York, for sure. And that's something that I definitely would love to do. On the flip side, we have maybe owning a shop. Owning a shop is something that I thought about when I was younger. When I was in my 20s, this is Anastasia too. I just go over this little like drastic line that I just made. So it's more powder. This is more pomade, literally pomade. And then this is their duo powder, which I don't have the other color anymore. I just have this left. So I always wanted to own a shop. Like when I was in my 20s, I was like, when I'm 30, I'm going to own my own shop. Because then I thought 30 was old. So, you know, I was like, when I'm older, in my 30s, well, by the time I turn 30, I want to have a shop. That was the goal. And once I started working in the shop, I was really close with the owner that I worked with, and I was just like, yo, she goes through so much drama that I don't even know if I want to deal with it. The problem is you have people get good and they leave you, like as I did with her. It is what it is. And that's the thing that you have to risk, but then they take their following. We've all done it before. And I just was like, I don't know if I want to deal with that. The constant rotation of texts and trying to be able to keep the doors open and this and storefronts, zoning, bills, and again, overwhelming. Is that something that I want to do? I don't know. So that's in the back of my mind. Is it good? I had a conversation. This is Sephora setting spray, setting powder. I had a conversation with my boss the other day, the director of the school, and I was like, let me just pick your brain. What I want more. What is more I want more from this job. You know, if I'm gonna think long term, I need to go more education, less nail tech, and I don't know what my next step would be. And she's like, what are you thinking? So I'm like, I wanna actually, I was like, I wanna own a school. Mind you, I'm mad hesitant to have this conversation with her because I'm like, I don't want you to think like I'm like low key trying to like dip or steal ideas or, you know, whatever. It's not even like that. So she, you know, she's very cool. We have a good relationship. So I was like, she's like, you know, why don't you own a shop? So I said, ew, I don't want to own a shop. Like I thought about that, but I don't really want to. She's like, you know, you're in an ideal situation where, sorry, I like to bake, especially when I'm working. I like to bake where my glasses will sit and where my mask will fall. So I don't have to keep like touching them. So we bake. And so she's like, you're in an ideal situation that, you know, you're teaching students, you have them in your class, keep a couple tables open, and then just usher them into your shop. I was like, okay, you make a good point. And, you know, she's like, you know, owning a school is a lot of work. And I was like, I know. And it's like, again, it's so hard to find information because you have like licensing issues that's coming from the state that you have to oblige by, curriculum that you have to have the money aspect, you have the admissions, you have this, you have insurance and liabilities, and it's a lot. Even if it's just a nail course, it's still a lot that needs to be done. Too Faced eyeshadow. I love this. This is, if you don't know about this, I don't know. I like Too Faced. I bought this. This is like chocolate bar because I'm more browns than anything. As you can tell which ones I like the most. So I like to keep it very like neutral on my face. I'm not like with the color. I'm not a color person. And so she's like, it's so much work. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. But I don't know, you know. And she was like, well, what about being like a proctor? Again, that is something that I thought about, becoming a proctor for the state. I would love to know what it goes on during state board. You know, when I took my exam, it was like 5,000 years ago. It was so different. And so much has changed. And as I'm teaching the course, I would love to know, like, okay, guys, so this is what you're gonna do, this, that. I could really, really, really tell these girls, tell my students, like, what exactly they need to know in order to pass the test. So sometimes I'm like, okay, so take both hands because we're not sure which one is gonna be appropriate. Try to do this. It depends on, they ask me, like, is it gonna be a lot of people in the room? Is it gonna be a lot of proctors? This, that. And I'm like, I don't know. So I would love to be able to do that. And that was something that I looked into when I first started teaching. And the lady that trained me at my job, she gave me the application. I put it to the side and I tossed it by accident. And I've never been able to find it. I'm trying to find it because that's definitely something that I want to do. Now, that's not like a next step goal, but that's just something that I want to be able to do because I believe that you sign up whenever you kind of want to. And it's just like you get paid for the day type thing. But to me, it's more about I want to know what goes on there, so my girls could know how to pass their boards. And so anyway, so she's like, look into that. As far as like working here, like that's kind of it. You can just level yourself up by becoming a proctor. So I'm like, okay, does it really help me? But at the same time, I'm like, okay, I guess, that's something that I could do. But again, we're coming back to, I don't have my eyeliner. Okay, whatever. So, what is this, Elf? Sometimes I go Maybelline. I usually go Maybelline. I think this is on sale and I wanted to try this. Elf is cool too. I love Elf. I love Elf primer. Their primer, I love their primer. I think I just used, when you saw me start, this was Maybelline. This is a good one too. Elf, they have, and then they have a new one, like the Pro Grip primer, which is really, really good. It's a little cakey for me. I don't know. I find myself, I use the grip and then I still use this. I just like the texture of this versus that grippy stuff. Anyway, so we're back to square one. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. So having a conversation with some friends and just close people, and I'm like, could I own a shop? If I had a shop, I could not transform. I could move all of this there. I don't have to work, which is ideally what I'm looking to do, is not work like that. More behind the scenes. I would probably still take my regular customers. I wouldn't take anybody new. I would still keep it minimal, at least for, until as far as I physically can anyway. And if it's a decent space, I could still do courses, classes, and have space for my graduating students, new techs, and I could possibly just do all of that underneath one roof. Light bulb. Then I had this idea. I like to give ideas. I like to talk, but I'm not going to give too many ideas. I had this idea. I started like developing that and saying like, okay, well, maybe I could do this and I could do that. And maybe I could license people through the shop, and, it might be a win-win situation. And I'm like, maybe. Now I'm thinking about that. This is old. This is Maybelline for a little blush. I usually don't put blush. I'm being extra right now. I mean, unless during the week when I'm going to work, that's different. This, doing nails, we're not doing blush. I'll still do all this, but I don't do blush. We're trying to be cute for camera right now. So I had an idea, and I'm like starting to play around with the different ideas. Because again, when I was younger, I had this idea of having a shop, and I wanted it to be like a bougie shop. I want it to be like upscale. I want it to be something that we in the Bronx especially don't have. And I was like, when people started doing it, there was a shop that came out first and they were like all about being bougie and this and that. And I was like, damn, they stole my idea. And I let it discourage me. And I didn't, again, I got older and I was like, no, maybe it's not for me. Somebody took my idea. Not really realizing that, and I'll say this to you, whoever is watching, that if you have an idea, 15,000 people do the same thing. Don't let it discourage you, because you are your own person and you're going to do it and you're going to do it differently, even if it's the same exact thing. And I let people opening shops in the area like how I wanted to discourage me. I wanted to be the first. I wanted to be the only one. You're never the only one. The nail business is not a monopoly. Like, you're not going to be the only one that's going to do something. And I let it discourage me, and that dream died out and I moved on. And now I'm like back to it, like, okay, well, I could do it, and I could pull in all the different ideas, things that I want to do, and put it underneath one roof. And this is what I've been going with so far. This is something that's going to take a lot of planning and some knowledge. I think the startup for anything is going to be the hardest thing. Again, getting started. Doing a storefront is a little bit more easy, a little bit more kind of black and white when it comes to the state starting versus like a school. I know I could do it. Once the doors are open, I'm not worried about that. I'm very confident that I could run a shop and it would be very nice. It's the startup, it's the money, it's the funding. There are a lot of companies out here. Being a woman, being a Black woman, there's a lot of grants. There is a lot of money in this world. People willing to help, give funding, give you some type of capital, something. It's a lot out here. I have a customer that she works with startup companies and helps with funding and all this stuff. And she was like, this and that. And she's talking to me about all these different ideas. And I'm kind of like, I think that could be feasible. So I want to kind of pick her brain a little bit more as to what she thinks would be good. And then see where I go from there. So, we're not trying to do anything this year. Possibly not even next year. Next year's not going to be my year. I have other things that I want to try to accomplish next year. But we're looking at 2025. I'm in 2025 goals. I'm ahead. I'm always ahead of the game. 2025 goals. And this is what I've been thinking. We have to think about what's next. What is next to come in this industry when it comes to doing nails. Again, we can't do this forever. This is not a desk job where we can just type and retire, and you have to be thinking about what's next. How can I grow? How can I get bigger as you get older? What is next? How can I still be in this industry? Or when is your time to walk away? If you want to put X amount of years into this and say, you know what, I'm going to save up, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to be done. Many people go on to teaching. Many people go on to maybe salon management, whatever, where it's a lot more easier. Collect your paycheck, sit back, relax. There's other jobs. That's not 100% for me. I still want to be very much involved in anything that I start, whether I'm there every single day behind the desk, I'm running it, I'm actually still working, whatever the case may be. I always want to be involved. I love this industry. I love doing nails. This is my heart. So I have to be involved in everything, in all aspects. So, but we have to think about what's next. And that's just what I've been thinking about. So let me finish getting dressed, because my customer is on the way soon. And just like that, we are ready for work. So thank you for listening to me vent about my thought process of what is next to come for Keisha Nails LLC. If you guys like this video and you want more nail tech diaries and listening to me vent while I'm getting ready or doing something random, leave me a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.